Good evening, everyone. It's Monday night. It's that time of the week. It's time for a nice big dose of Plastic Crack Podcast, episode 41, season 4. Every time I say that, it gets even more terrifying.
Yeah.
We're on the 41st episode of season 4.
I know. I can't believe it's the last season as well. Jesus.
Yeah, no,
Really?
everybody said it.
Well, for him anyway.
For you anyway. Big thank you for everyone who's here tonight. I'll catch up in a second. Don't forget, we are sponsored. Let me just get the nice picture here. We're sponsored by the awesome folks over at Boards and Swords Hobbies. There we go. So once you're on the web store, if you use PCP5 when checking out, you'll get an additional 5% off your already discounted order. As we say all the time, if there's something you need and can't find, drop them a message, and I'm pretty sure Ian and the chaps will be able to sort it out for you. Big thank you as well to everyone that's watching on the catch-up. We always appreciate that. And do all the YouTube stuff, the like, share, subscribe, comment, that kind of stuff that I don't like. that I don't like saying. It makes me sound like such a millennial.
Hey!
What? Well, millennial. Right. So episode 41 tonight, we're going to be talking about how we all approach. Basically, this episode is all about painting 6mm samurai and the pros and cons of doing that, Martin.
Right. I will see you.
So Martin's gone. There. Oh, no, he's not. He's just...
I'm back. I messed up the...
Yeah.
There we go. No, that's not you.
No.
Oh, well. I'll sort it out. Oops.
This is like a bad episode of the Muppets. It's just going. Everything's going wrong. No, we're going to
say there are plenty of Muppets around here, Steve. All I'm saying.
We're going to be talking about how we all approach the smaller scale, be it 15, 13 and a half, 15, 18, 20, even the ungodly madness that is 2mm. If you actually paint 2mm figures, can you please comment and give us some advice? Because Dom's thinking about getting some.
Yeah, and pass on the details of your optician, because I think
my mate has actually got a 2mm Covenanter army. He got from Var.
How can you tell, Steve?
I don't know. Okay, it could be English Civil War. It could be a riot. It could be the cast of Sesame Street. It could be anyone. But we just don't know. But yeah, he's bought it. He's never used it because there's no way on earth that actually no. I'm not ever saying I'm not doing something, because that just never works.
That makes you do it.
It makes me do it. Right. Before we get into that, let's see who has joined us tonight. So we have Benjamin here. He's working on upcoming Flames of War tournament, Lazy Pirate Painting, East Norfolk, John Sowerby. Steve Harbour's here. What's Steve up to? He is preparing some stuff this evening. Makes a windy boat game with some 6mm Great Northern War. Always been on the pile of opportunity for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Rogue Trooper, Motorcycles Jones is here. Red Staff. Paul letting us know it's from a very moist and blowy Mercia. Working on mounted Scottish tonight. It's been biblical here today with the wind and the rain. It's not been a bad. We've actually got a storm warning for Oop North. Which is why I'm not venturing outside, because I don't want to.
Isn't that just normal?
That's just normal. Yes, it is very normal for me. I don't mix with humans. Craig Williams from sunny Tasmania, 635, pins some Napoleonic French line. Lovely. It is.
Jobs.
Pop it on the map. How many drummers, Craig? How many drummers? Let us know. Carl Burks, David Baker, Lionheart, Mobile Hostel, Bicker City. Hello, Don. How you doing, mate? Are you doing well? Andrew JF. I'm going to try and pronounce this. I'm going to get this all wrong. Crioca Canesi. That sounds
I
right.
would have said.
Very good.
Hippo's Hobby Hours. What's Hippo
That's
working
easier.
on? It is very much easier. Working on some Celtic Forces for a Crusader project, some terrain for same project. Looking forward to another great stream. We shall certainly endeavour to entertain you while you're painting Celtics.
No pressure.
No pressure. No. Mike Jones, he's working on some 28mm ECW. King's Lifeguard, the Royalist Foot Battalion.
Excellent.
Good choice.
Good comment here from John. Nicely timed episode, given some GW trouser fire is coming on sale this week. More of that later. Simon Stokes here. Alex is painting. Here you go, Dom. Here's one for you. Some 3mm SDKFZ 251.
But Alex, you're old as well, mate. Come on, how do you see them? I mean, my fear with something that small, I'd probably snort and they go straight up both nostrils, and that would be that. Goodbye.
History and Dice is here. Hello. I think it might be the first time on the stream. Don't recognise the name. Welcome. Apparently, the for the game Rommel. There we go. Robin's here. The Stoic Steve. Rich John is here. Hello, Rich. Nick Games. Double Dip. Mark is here.
Every time.
Every time.
Mini Agnostic. Ken's here, the eccentric man. Hello, Ken. Hope you're doing well,
Hello,
mate.
Ken. I haven't seen you for a little while.
Dan. If you haven't seen these in the Facebook group yet, check them out. So Dan is painting 10mm lizard men, and the ones he's posted are just, they're just so good.
Oof, awesome.
David's here. He's been chucking it down Scotland. I can well imagine. Louis Baby. Miller is here. Hello, Miller. Hope you're doing well. Nigel Jones. Not Ben M is here. He is. Here's one for you. Napoleonic Spanish before he goes on holiday.
Good man.
I thought you
early or late period. That's what I want to know.
Oh, that's a tough one, isn't it? John's here. John McLean. Full house. Yes, John. It's a full house for the first time in quite a while, Rich. Quite a while, really. It's like trying to round up cats some week. Carazette, Mark, Rob Heath. So Rob paints 2 mil.
Bloody hell.
Rob, we salute you, sir. We salute you because it's not something I don't think I'll ever be taking up. And Robin does as well. I didn't know this. He only does 2 highlights on the buttons though. You don't want to go overboard with the detail on the 2 mil. Leslie, say hello, Leslie. Hope you're doing well. Say John is here. He's painting 6 mil. Oh, he has painted 6 mil for the Yom Kippur War. Gary's here. Dermot, and when we're almost at the bottom, Gary's here. Shigos and Spruce. Hello, James. Hope you're doing well. Daniel Moreno, Yorkshire Dragoon. Hello, Tim. Hope you're okay. Rich, and I think we're at the bottom. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us on this rather inclement Monday night.
What an amazing word.
I have a question before we start.
Blimey, here we go.
Completely off topic. Dom, you'll like it. It's Napoleonic related. 95th Rifles. The collars, black.
Yeah. They're black.
Black.
Excelente. Didn't know if they would have left green.
Well, that's my curiosity fully satisfied on 95th Rifle collars.
Can we carry on now, Ken?
Cheers. Otherwise, I'd have been not painting my collars. I'd have been fucked.
Good stuff. So no more 95th sartorial chat for the upcoming couple of hours. Because everyone knows in Napoleon times you needed your collars the right colour.
Oh yes,
that's going to stop a musket ball, isn't it?
Colours and cuffs, they've got to match, mate.
Oh, and don't forget big news. So we've got the draw coming up later on.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
To win the Bolt Action British Airborne starter set, kindly donated by the Awesome Boards and Swords. So, and everyone that left a comment on last week's stream, you're all going to be put through a draw. That sounds terrible, but yeah, we're going to do a draw later. And the lucky person is going to win a Bolt Action British Airborne starter set. And having painted that starter set myself, it's bloody brilliant. It's a fantastic box. The 2 airborne boxes from Warlord. So the US Airborne, the British Airborne, brilliant boxes. I've had both. I've painted both, and they're really good. Right, you 3 chaps were away at the weekend, weren't you? Aren't we having a bit of a roundup of what you were doing?
I was away. They kind of lived near it, so
yeah.
I was at home, definitely.
So
I remember it vividly.
I was about an hour away. You look at me on a Saturday. I was like this.
You were like that when we saw you on the Friday, dude. It was really, really good. Yes, we went to Warfare, and Miller joined as well, representing East Anglia. And we had well, it's his first ever show. Obviously, CrackCon, the best show.
Oh, yes,
is a little bit different. But it was his first one, so it was quite nice to be with someone. Like sometimes when you watch like your favorite film and you want to show it to someone and you end up watching them more than you watch the film because you want to see what their reaction is. It was quite funny because when we walked into the hall, he kind of went through these different stages of panic because there was so much there, grief because he wanted to spend all his money, and then acceptance, and then just watching him just buy things was quite fun.
How many times over that Saturday did he say, "I'm not spending any money"?
He went there with the intention of buying like 15 mil Macedonians and didn't buy any, and walked away with like Saga dice and new games. Some other bits, the vulture that we
you were ruthless.
Martin was one of those really annoying people. Just buy it. Go on.
Just in case he's listening, and because I know Leanne listens as well, it's not exactly like he took a lot of encouragement. All I did was point out that if he bought it then on the day, he didn't have to pay the postage for something he was going to buy anyway. That's what I pointed out to him. We were talking about the Saga dice. He was like, they're 14 quid. I was like, yeah, but they're going to be 14 quid plus £5 postage if you buy them when you get home, and you've already spent the petrol to get here. I'm not wrong, am I? So, we went down, and as many of you saw, I can see that Dom's put up a couple of pictures of this, so we invaded the boot room, didn't we?
You
for
did.
A big old Wars of the Roses showdown. Now, a lot of you in the comments did... hoping it was filmed. It started off being filmed, didn't it?
I did film it, and then about halfway through, it had been going for about 5 hours at that point. So I was running out of digital space for a start, and also it would have been an absolute nightmare to edit out all the slightly dodgy conversations that were being had.
You mean all the personal details that we've been told about each other's lives?
Exactly. So in the end, I just quietly put the camera down, and we continued talking shit for the next however many hours it was. It was great.
Well, we definitely spoke shit about a certain fucking rule for about 2 hours, didn't we, Dom?
We did, didn't we?
We did. But the best thing about that is I got home, right? And I said to Hayley, I was like, you've played this quite a lot now. You played this. What's your... And she came out, agreed with the rule book, and then said only idiots would get it wrong, and then only idiots would end up in the situation where they had to look that up. That is essentially what she said.
She's probably not wrong, to be fair.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Should we name the rule?
No, Ken. We'll just leave it. No, Ken. Ken, don't be a penis.
That's not me. But he put Steve's face on that.
It was a good game, though. To be honest, it was a good game. We had a
a brilliant game. Yeah,
we reckon about 1,200 figures, something like that. You reckoned?
Yeah, and also I left the box at home.
Yeah,
and we still go. So no, it was fair. So it's me and Ken versus Dom and Miller, and because there's gonna be no battle report, we could just say Dom and Miller won. It came down to objectives, didn't it? In the last turn, but it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. But one of my favourite things is that one of Ken's units of Bill and Bo nearly saw off an entire division.
Yeah. Literally,
poor
Miller and his shit dice rolling.
His dice were. I've never seen anybody. I thought Martin's dice were bad, but geez, Miller's. Wow,
that's a new.
Yeah, do you see why I didn't want him on my team?
I can see why you didn't want him on your team.
You had to be desperate to have me on your team.
Well, that's what it was like.
It's when he goes. Go on. Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
Well, I was going to say, it's when Miller said he's fucking cheating and you were watching me roll my dice.
Well, it wasn't that. It's because Miller was getting more and more agitated, and I thought he was going to launch himself across the table because he was getting eggy about the discussion we'd had about the rule, and then he was getting eggy, and then Dom was just powering him with beer. So I just thought there was going to be a moment where he was going to lift up the boot room and shake us around like a kid.
I just thought keep feeding the Wookiee beer, and it's all fine.
It was cool. So then, yes, after a thoroughly good evening, because that's the thing, isn't it? What's better than a good game? A good game with one thing that you can then complain about.
Exactly.
So it's like a meal. We then ventured to Warfare the next day, which was good. And look, I've got a picture of Ken in his natural habitat at the Bring and Buy.
God,
I look like a proper dad there, don't I? Jesus Christ.
I'd say something else, but
Yep.
Anyway,
Yeah.
what did you bought there, Ken? What did you buy there?
Oh, I bought some Tyranids.
Why did you buy some Tyranids?
Why
Yeah, exactly.
Tyranids?
Because they were only
were
15
cheap.
quid, and they were cheap. They were
Oh.
painted, and they were 15 quid, and they were painted pretty decent, to be fair. And even Martin said
They aren't painted that bad actually. I did see them. They need to change the basing, but yeah,
I've already taken the basing off.
But it was good, and we had a good wander around. We ended up playing some sharp practice, didn't we, with Mark and the others. So and then I ended back with Miller again. So it was first ball run, wasn't it?
It was.
So there's
nice.
there's the gruesome twosome that we were. There's the Confederates.
And do you know what? Miller's dice continued to be absolutely cack all the way through that too. It was just unbelievable.
Well, Miller's portion of the game basically consisted of him trying to get that cavalry over that ford you can see in the bottom right. Whereas all I did was cause a lot of slaughter in the middle of my own people because I just, that was that. It was great. So just thank you to the guys for showing us that, because I think that's only the second game of sharp practice that I've taken part in. Is that as I'm bemoaning my...
You're probably moaning about something there, yes.
I was probably moaning about the fact that I just couldn't roll higher than a 5 in the entire game. I had do you remember I rolled one load of attacks? I had 24 attacks, and I got loads of hits. I think I got more than 75% hits, and then out of that 75%, I got 1 kill. It was bizarre. So yeah, but no, that was a cracking
good
game.
Fun.
But I do want to take, because one of the things I really like about shows is when we wander around and you find those little gems. And Miller and I were walking around, and we came upon this. Now I think we had a cracking time playing this. So this is a game. Steve, you're going to like this. And I know there's a few people in chat. Paul Richardson, I'm thinking of you here in chat. And we came upon it. It is weird. It is weird shit, but it was fantastic fun. So this is a game called Tribal Conquest, and it's by sort of a new company called Nervosa Games, and they actually released it at Warfare. So they haven't done Kickstarter, which they've gone straight to release, which I think takes a lot of guts these days. Everyone else seems to do it. So Miller and I were walking past, and I think if you have a nice little demo table, it's always gonna get people in. It's always, and so we saw that. We looked past, we had a chat, and then we said, we'll come back for a demo game later. And we took about 4 or 5 steps forward, and we said, no, let's just go and play a game now. So we had this game, and essentially the concept of the game, as far as I understand it, is that it's pulpy prehistoric, right? So you've got one group of people, 2 shamans essentially, and that you have magical abilities now, and they're powered by your followers, and you can convert other people's followers to worship you, essentially, to power you to take over the other person, and you can sling spells at each other, hypnotize people, blast them, smite them. To give you an idea,
bees at someone, isn't it?
It's the very start of the game. At the very start of the game, Miller's shaman cast basically sent I'll send you do you know what? I'll put the link right in the chat right now, because I've got it here, Paul. So hang on 1 second. There we go. It's in there. They're just building the website this week. But if you go to the top, there's a button that takes you to it. And they have various bundles and things. So Miller cast a swarm of bees, which caused my guy to run into the pond and drown. I then essentially pushed the guy who threw the bees at me back up the hill, and he knocked into someone else that knocked them over. And then there was a lot of stealing of followers. One of my people got hypnotized and started throwing some shit at me, which I then killed him for such insolence. And then there's an instant death spell. You know what? It was just great fun, and it really reminded me of 1920s pulp stuff. And the chap who's designed it, Ethan, he used to work for Modifius. So he's designed it, but it was fantastic. So I think we were there playing it for, must have been about half an hour, wasn't it? I know you guys kept on walking.
It was good. It was a good that it must have been a good half an hour or more, because I wandered off and then I came around. I thought, where are they? And I came back, and all I could hear you two giggling, and I don't know what you were doing, but actually, you're obviously having great fun. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll keep going then.
Yeah, no, it was great fun, and it was just a good laugh. And there's lots of different troop types. So and then they were releasing it on the day. That was all of the release miniatures, and me, myself and Miller went halves on the release bundle, which essentially we got everything you can see there, plus a promo model as well. So, and that's kind of all you need to play the game. You get to build a little board out, and there's expansions planned. So no, it reminded me a little bit of a setup, a little bit the way you can just set up Dead Man's Hand and play. We after a turn we knew exactly what we were doing. It was really simple, and it was a great deal of fun. So if anyone's looking for something a little bit different, it might be worth going and checking it out. Miller's really enjoyed it because essentially he won by basically instant deathing my shaman. But yeah, we're going to paint it up. He's actually got that at his place at the minute, so he should have it all painted by now because it's been 2 days
probably.
And he promised me, but if they're what I know they said they probably watch the stream. So but no, if Ethan and Jasmine who talked us through the game, thank you very much for taking the time to show us. I'll I've posted a link here, so if anyone's interested in that kind of thing, go and have a look because it was a great deal of fun, and that's what we want from the day. And then ended up spending a lot of money elsewhere. Although I was actually looking at what I bought, I didn't actually buy that much. I bought some Last Valley scenery, some Japanese scenery from Blots, the Caesar book, another Test of Honor miniature, and some just little odds and sods. That was it. That was my big spend.
Yeah, I didn't actually. I mean, it was a reasonable amount of money, but it wasn't massive amount of stuff. So I was actually quite pleased as well.
Yeah. Is it painted yet, Dom?
Not yet, no. It took me most of today trying to clear up the mess that those three made in my bloody boot room, which considering it was already in a mess, it was it did take a lot more.
Just because you gave us those, you're welcome. Thank you for running the game. But you gave us those bloody garlic crisps that I've now been scouring the internet for.
You've been looking as well.
Yeah,
have you been looking as well? Yeah, same.
Oh, they're like
garlic and mushroom. They were awesome.
Oh, it's like garlic crack. It's amazing.
I'll get you some more at the weekend. I think we're going back up to Ludlow at the weekend, so I'll get you some more. There you go.
Please,
job lots for you.
Oh, they were amazing. But yeah, it's a good game. So I'm sure there'll be some more stuff coming out about the day where we had a good walk around. Ken said he wasn't going to spend any money and did.
Yeah.
I broke even.
No, it's because you sold a bunch of stuff. You could have sold a bunch of stuff and given that to your unborn child.
Yeah,
you didn't. You spent it on books to put on your bookshelf that you're not going to read because you have them on audiobook.
I'm reading one at the moment.
No, you're on the stream at the moment.
No, not at the moment. You know what I mean. You know, I'm reading No Fear at the moment.
That's the first Blood Angel one, isn't it?
Not Blood Angel. No.
Fear to Tread is the
Ultramarines. The first Ultramarines one. I have listened to it, but reading it gives you a different aspect.
I'm listening to Warhawk at the minute.
It's very good. I love. I don't because I started painting these after listening to that.
Oh, what White Scar? Oh, yes, you did.
Yeah, I started painting White Scar.
If Alex is in the chat, Alex, I'm reading that book that you enlightened us to at CrackCon.
Can we say what it is? I mean, it's your channel,
No, I'm not even. I am not even.
How can we allude to what it involves?
It's a science fiction novel involving an angry chap from the 30s with a funny haircut and slightly dodgy facial hair.
He's got a very funny moustache, hasn't he? Yeah.
He has, yeah.
Yeah, and it's black hair.
It's called this. Yeah. It's called that. And I was all I will say, Alex, is it's a lot cleverer than I thought it was going to be. It's actually quite a terrifying book. It's well written, and the analogies in it are.
You will be. He's right.
I am most definitely.
He's always going to watch.
He's always been, yeah. It's all that
because I don't think that book was viewed as many times on Amazon as that one night in the That it has the one, Dave. Yeah, it's
yeah, that's him.
Moving swiftly along. From the...
if just go and look at the front cover, people. If you
don't. Yeah, I was gonna get my copy, but I'm not gonna do it because I've got the dodgy copy. He's on a motorbike.
Oh fucking hell.
like Mad Max.
You can just imagine the start of him in Mad Max.
It's weirdness. Alex said the execution is better than the premise. Absolutely agree with that. Anyway, moving on from what degenerate deviancy I'm reading, what's everyone been painting? Let's start with Martin.
I have been doing things. So what have I been painting? So this has been seen on lots of various channels. Of course, the Dead Man's Hand Kickstarter is currently going at the minute, and like a couple of other places, they kindly sent me the building.
Funny that. Funny they would send you the Kickstarter. You give them the most business.
Well, I couldn't work out. Well, I didn't know because they did the Kickstarter thing, and I didn't know that they'd linked my video in it because I was looking at my analytics and I couldn't work out why that video was suddenly getting viewed a lot. And that they're very nice. So here it is. This is my take on the plastic on the building. That took 45 minutes to paint and do. It was a great deal of fun. It's a lovely kit. It really is. I mean, I know some of the worries. It's very similar, I would say, to the Renedra kits. There's a lot of detail on there, especially on things like the wood grain. So the contrast paints work brilliantly on it. They really do. So I just sort of undercoated the whole thing, and then I whacked Gore Grunter Fur over the whole thing, and then did a bunch of dry brushing, and then picked out some colors, and that was it. And it was great deal of fun, and it's all, as people know, all the interiors and that are done already, but there's a lot you can do in there to make it your own. So I decided to wallpaper the back office. I like, and I had to put Angry Granny and her chicken in there. But that chicken looks so confused as to why it's in there. It's like, what's going on? Why am I here? This is a cattle company. So I actually went and found some surviving pictures from right. There are some blogs out there. Genuinely, I feel like Rimmer from Red Dwarf now. There are blogs out there of swatches of 1850s Americana, and that includes wallpaper. And I found one of these, and then I scaled it in. No, I'm serious. I scaled it in CAD. So I rescaled it and then just cut and paste essentially a lot until I essentially made little rolls of wallpaper. So I sat there last night. So genuinely, this took me 45 minutes to paint, and then it took me half an hour to wallpaper. But I decided to. It was quite fun because I thought I'll rip some little bits off, just to, it's not being, So, but I've got like a desk and stuff that I can put in there that I've got from other sets. So I have that at the back as the businessman's office at the back. But that was that would, it was just good fun. And it's a great kit. There's a video going up about it in the next couple of days, just because the Kickstarter ends on Wednesday at midnight. But if you're interested, or people wondering, then I mean, Battle Bunker's already done the video. That's just really good. Steve, you've got one of these to do as well, haven't you?
I've got one, yes.
But it's a good solid kit. I magnetized that porch to the front.
Oh, right.
Just to make. Well, I just figured there's so many times. Yeah, essentially, just so you can like position the stuff underneath it. So it was good fun. So that's what I've painted. I'm just working on some more Test of Honor stuff, and then the next big one begins. So I'm just gonna sort of clear the decks.
Virginians?
No. No, not unless you want to paint them for me and give them to me. No, I stopped caring about Hannibal.
For now.
No, I don't care about him anymore.
You're so over him. You're so out of his life.
So over Cannibal.
Rome was right. It's fine. Room was fine.
Oh,
No,
my word.
no, it is. Yeah, no, I'm over that. I have a whole different set of people, but no, it's all cool. What you guys been up to?
So let's go with Ken.
Good day. Oh, you have to say that's a new paint on it, brush. Yes, 2 seconds. Right. Okay. So what?
Oh God, Ken, keep your distance. Jeez. You know that restraining order. Keep it up.
Sounded better.
That's better.
Right. So where am I going? So yes, the first thing I did was I finished my household cavalry, the lifeguards, 1st Battalion, and these are all 3D printed. Take a drink. I've actually got some ladies with me today. So yeah, I finished it. Yeah, I was happy with them, to be fair. Yeah, there's a guy, the keen-eyed among you would notice that one of them has a lance.
Yeah, you put that in the group chat, didn't you?
Yeah, Don was very confused about said lance. And because I snapped his sword off, so I couldn't think of something to. I thought, why reason would he pick up said lance? And I thought, it could be like a battle trophy or something like that. So that's why he has a lance, because I snapped his sword off. Just to make it a little bit different as well.
You didn't put a Frenchman's head on it or anything like that, did you?
No.
Okay.
Nothing so vulgar.
No, nothing so vulgar. But yeah, so that's that one. I was quite happy with those, to be fair.
Yeah, it looks good.
And then I painted up some 40k stuff.
Bloody hell, Ken, old school.
Some Katachan jungle fighters. I was very happy with these, to be fair.
Are they the metal ones?
Yeah, they are, yeah.
Crikey,
Yeah, so
they're what, 1994, 95?
93.
Crikey.
Yeah, I know, crazy, isn't it? So yeah, I painted them up. But these were the first miniatures that I'd ever actually started to paint. These jungle fighters, and I never was happy with them because I sold them. So I thought I'm going to redo them. So I've redone them. So I'm much happier with the second attempt.
It's all about the details.
Jesus Christ, man.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm not going to click the button just to annoy you now. I need to know. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, well. It got caught in a twig or something. There you go. Twig caught it or something like that. It flapped. Yes. You bastard, Miller.
I love it because that's the kind of thing that's going to annoy you.
So, yeah, I'm going to have to swap the hand around now. It's going to annoy me. So yeah, I've done that. I'm working on some 95th rifles at the minute. I'm also working on some night goblins, some more Katachan jungle fighters, and some more what they called Mortarian guard, the other guard stuff.
Well, the Mordian guard.
Mordian guard, yeah.
The ones that should be on a
poster,
a tin of Quality Street or something.
That's it. They're the ones.
Yeah.
So I'm working on them as well at the minute. But that's me. Yeah, so that's me. Happy days.
Kind of Quality Street has them on. Blimey. Oh, well. Sorry.
Go for it. Who's next?
Dom, you're next. Well, mine's going to be really, really, really short. So, Dom, what have you been up to?
I drip Baileys out my mouth.
Bloody hell. I don't want to know about yours. No, I've done a lot again. Apologies, a few of these would have been on the video I put up yesterday, but I'll flash through them. So I did some Brunswick Avanti Light Infantry. That were just I just had that phase of just the last week or so of just clearing a whole lot of figures that was sort of started and been primed and everything. I hadn't done anything with them. I think it was because the guys were coming, so I was clearing up the cabin and moving some of the piles of shame everywhere into one big pile of shame. And so I just sort of thought, oh well, I'll do those quickly. So I did them. Then I found a couple of command sprues that I was doing for the Bruces in Ireland project, so I did that one, which I was quite pleased with. It came out all right. eclectic mix of different figures within that, including the dogs from the War Games Atlantic thingies. And then another command base there, which is, again, a real mixed bag of figures from all over the place that I just happened to have together, which I, quite happy with how they came out in the end. Pretty good. Didn't do so many epic 15mm stuff this time, but I did this unit, which is going to be Finnish light cavalry. Need some of those in the Swedish army, and I did some more horse holders for the dragoons. So that was that. But I sat down and I put this in the Facebook, so everyone knows how crap I am at all these things. But I sat down just to paint one mouse because I thought, I'll do something different. I've got a couple of hours free. I'll paint them out. I painted a mouse from one of the Badgers and Boroughs, and that turned into that. So.
That's that. The Gandalf Badger is one of my favourite ones that he's done. I think it's fantastic.
It's a lovely model, isn't it?
There is someone you have to have a look. Someone who's with very using basically conductive paint has put like the teeny tiniest little LED in the end of the
really
pipe. Yeah. If you have a search, you can find it. They put a battery in the base and then they use conductive paint. To do it. That's amazing. Awesome. But that fur, mate, is amazing.
Yeah, it
came out quite well in the end, didn't it? Yeah, I was quite pleased with that. So that was that one, and then
that is how I think the badgers look at me when I'm on site and there's an area that we can't go into because there's badgers. That's how I imagine there's one sitting.
You're looking at going,
just looking at me.
Your time has come.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Alex, I 100%. 100%.
I love badgers.
So that's that, and then this is a mole, which I kind of went a bit crazy with.
How many have you done now?
Oh, hundreds. Well, not hundreds.
Have you got the whole range? You must
not everything. I've got most of them, I think. I still haven't had a game. I like this fella with the turned axe. He's sort of a Landsknecht mouse.
Yeah, he's got his Landsknecht trousers going on there.
Yeah. I don't know why I then put. I didn't like to look, Martin. Yeah,
there's questions. That's the Mousketeer. That's a lovely one.
Oh yeah, that Mousketeer. When I painted mine, I literally it went from primed to based in one sitting. I just couldn't. I couldn't stop painting it. It was just. I enjoy it because it's so small. You don't appreciate exactly how small that model is. It's absolutely tiny.
Weeny. Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, because the bear badger thing is not actually that big, really. Those mice are pretty small. But so that's what I got up to. Real mixture of stuff.
It's quite an eclectic mix. I'll do my update. It was very short. I painted nothing last week. I was making that video. It took me bloody ages to make that, and I spent just like 4 days just filming and recording. And do you know actually what happened last Tuesday? This really pissed me off. I sat down to do some sort of photographs and in video footage. Right, got all the setup, everything done. Turned my camera on, and the battery went.
Oh no!
Oh no! Yeah.
So I swore quite a lot, vigorously and without repeating myself for about 20 minutes. But once that was all done, no, I really enjoyed that. But what I am working on at the moment, I put this in the Facebook group on Saturday. When Rich was on last week, he was talking about the Far East Handbook for Chain of Command. And it may remember I've got an Australian Army for bolt action, the full metal one, all metal miniatures, and it's not
full
been
metal
seen.
Aussie.
Full metal Aussie. Oh, the best kind. Now, the last time it saw the light of day was the last game of bolt action I had. It was a couple of days before lockdown, and I packed it all away, and it's not been out since. So I dug it all out, and I'm not repainting it, but I'm rebasing, and I'm giving everyone sort of, because they've got all different types of skin color, from really dark to jaundiced. I don't know what I was thinking with some of the paint schemes on that. So I'm just rebasing. Everyone's getting a uniform flesh scheme. But I forgot what a nice range this is by Warlord. It's like every single figure is metal. And and it's got one of my favorite bolt action kits of all time, which is the medic with the native stretcher bearers.
I don't think you like metal miniatures, Steve.
I don't. The reason I have this is my mate got me a couple of blisters for my birthday, and then a month later we found ourselves in the Warlord Games shop, and it was the Saturday after the Friday where they just basically released the last of the Australian stuff. So I went into the shop and I bought everything Australian that was there. It was just I'll have one of that, one of that. So I came out with an entire metal army. And I painted it over sort of the course of a year or so. No kit bashing, no cork, James, no cork. I even threw in some Chindits in there as well. They're part of my veteran engineer section. But yeah, when I dug it out on Saturday, it'd been literally nearly 4 years since I last looked at it.
He says that, Ken, about hating metals, but then he bought a whole load of AB stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's got badges. I mean, you know. Yeah.
No, but
and we know based on your last video that we can't believe a word you say anyway.
You can't. I swore blind I wasn't going to paint 20mm figures, but I have, and I'm addicted. So that's what I have. So hopefully over the course of the week, you'll see a few more of these Australians being completed, and a bit more 20mm because I've got some German stuff to paint. But that was my week. That watching films, drinking fruity beer. Right. What I think we'll do is at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
Can we share the film that you found?
Oh, please.
Okay, so many
we
of you
can't
might
share
know,
the books.
We can't show. Okay, so the weird book about the strange angry bloke from the 30s. We can't show that. Many of you might know that me and Martin have a similar taste in films.
A warped sense of films.
And whenever we post anything about said films in the group chat, Dom normally swears.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to keep a lookout for weirdness. So it was Martin that got me onto watching the Terrifier films. I thoroughly enjoyed them. I watched Driller Killer again the other week. It's a good film. And then I was perusing the horror section on Amazon on Saturday night because I was just struggling to watch a film. And I came across a film called The Scrotum. And it's from what I can understand, it's about a pair of irradiated knackers that
This is because some guy
go on a killing spree.
Essentially, yeah, some guy is camping with his girlfriend, but before anything happens, he decides he needs to go and have a quick shave, and he uses some water, but upstream someone's dumping toxic waste, so they then leave his body and then go on a rampage.
You guys have no idea what goes on in our chat.
I'm gonna go put this on. I've just read the synopsis.
I think there's a good chance that will be troubling my TV at some point this week, because it's just as soon as I saw it, I was like, "This is getting at some point. This is getting watched because it's got all
weird."
It is glorious. It's what celluloid was made for.
It is.
I mean, what I love is that someone financed it. That's the thing I love.
I'd love to have been sat in that marketing meeting pitching that to them. Ah, yes. What's your film called? The Scrotum. Sold.
But there's a sequel. There's a sequel.
No, there isn't.
There's a sequel.
Shut the fuck up.
There is.
Do you know what I still want to watch, even though I don't think. Have you seen the new Winnie the Pooh film?
Oh yeah, there's a horror. I haven't. No, I haven't. Yeah. I haven't seen it.
I think it got about 2% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is just never.
I think that's like a badge of honor.
It is a badge of honor. If it's that low, I want to watch it. Brilliant. Right, yeah. As I was saying before we started talking about scrotums, we're going to do the draw for the British Airborne Starter Box, kindly donated by Boards and Swords. So I think we'll do that at 9 o'clock. So anyone that left a comment last week, if you're in the chat, fingers crossed that you might win it. It's a fantastic starter box. So yeah, you should all be looking forward to potentially winning this box. But as we mentioned earlier, tonight's theme is 6mm Samurai. No, it's not. It's how do we approach the smaller scale? Now, I'm going to put up a picture of something that I took while I was
radiated scrotum.
It's an irradiated scrotum. No, it's not. And it's not there. Oh, yeah, it is here. Right. So this is 28, 20, and 15 all next to each other. That's a bit of a one on the left of the 28. He's on a big base, so he's slightly smaller than that in reality. But I used the same painting technique for all of those figures. All of them didn't regardless of scale. It didn't really change. No.
Wow.
And that, again, that got me thinking, especially with you, Don, with your velocitous progress through your epic piping shot. I know, because you predominantly paint in 28 mil.
Yes. Yes,
So
I do.
when you started, when you thought, right, because I think we all got involved, apart from Martin, and Ken, you've got rid of yours, haven't you?
Yeah, he got rid of them.
Of course he did.
Your
It's
push of
15
pike,
mil
it's gone.
stuff.
Oh yeah, that's gone.
Yeah, right. Did you paint any of them?
As a prime?
Let me rephrase that question. Did you open the box?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Of course he did, because if there'd been something missing, he'd have complained, so they sent him a new one. And he'd have kept that. And
It's too bloody right.
He knows me too well.
So with that in mind, Don, when you sat down, you opened that box and you saw the scale. I mean, I know you've done, you've painted a few of the ACW ones before, haven't you?
Yeah, well, a few, yeah. I mean, to be absolutely honest, blimey, head nearly fell off there. When I first started, well, I think we talked about this before, Steve, didn't we? Either on the chat or here, I can't remember now. But when I first started to look at the pike and shot stuff, the 15 mil, whatever you call them, epic size stuff, I kind of just thought, oh, shoot, where do I start? And I didn't really feel comfortable doing it. And I wanted to try and paint it like the 28s, but obviously that's not really possible.
No.
So I had to leave them for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And then I thought, one day I thought, this is stupid. I'm just going to have a go at it. And I had painted, as you say, some of those ACW figures.
Yeah.
And I actually found them really straightforward to do, because it was, I think in my head, I was thinking, well, these are going to be much more lace and fluff and bits and bobs.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, you don't need any of that on those sort of size figures, especially when they're all ranked up in big bundles. And half the figures, you can't even see the back of them. So I just thought, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to go. So I just simplified the whole painting project down. I don't think in the end I even stopped doing highlighting on them. So literally, and then as I went through them, I thought, you know what, I can make this even quicker. So I started to undercoat them in different colors, so that was the main color that was coming through. So if I was doing the Swedish Black Regiment, I'd use a black undercoat and then just pick out literally every couple of jackets or every three pairs of trousers a slightly different color. Rest of it, just do it straight as it was. And I thought, this is easy, and that's why I've cracked through them so quickly. So I think for me, I just, particularly for that at that sort of scale and that sort of mass effect, because that's what you're looking for when they're all ranked up.
Yeah,
is the mass effect. It doesn't really, you don't want to be trying to do all the little bit of details and, tassels and what have you. You just do enough that can be seen and no more. And that's kind of what I did.
What I found with, especially when, I've painted quite a few of the ACW ones, and I've just started experimenting with the pike and shot ones. I think a good portion of it is mindset, and you've got to. For me, I'm the bit I'm struggling with is accepting that they look like crap. that's the.
I'm perfectly comfortable with that.
It's the biggest. And can I just say, on an unrelated point, painting pikes of any scale is not fun.
No,
it's not. I've stabbed myself repeatedly with these. No, because the other week I was talking about how I'm experimenting, and what I'm doing is, so I prime the strip brown. Okay, I prime everything in brown. Then I get 3 paints, and so it's going to be uniforms. And I paint 3 stripes.
Mm-hmm.
So not very neat. Just get a big brush and go across the stocking things, red, trousers and jacket, blue, and then for the head and the helmets, brown, 3 stripes. Then I get a really, really heavy black wash and just douse the entire thing, and it hides the joins and it brings out the detail. And then all after that, it's just highlights. After that, the bit I'm struggling with is that they look like a hot mess, but it's not what I mean, with the amount you need, and you need strippers, there's going to be loads. No one's going to be interrogating every single sprig.
Like you said, you say that.
Well, you say that. But that's the thing for me is more. It's more the mental side than anything. It's not the technique. I know. Having done that test sprue last week, I know I can paint them. And I know from sort of 3 feet away they look okay. They look passable. But for me, they look a bit crap, and I'm really struggling with that. And I'm gonna keep going though. I'm gonna keep. Yeah, Dom, you were right. Painting the individual ones.
Oh, they are
is about a million times more difficult than painting a strip. The strips are so easy to paint.
You wait till you try and base the little fuckers.
Well, I tried them last week and I managed to get 9 on a base. And the thing is, the ones you put them on, you lose about 50% of them. You don't actually see 50% of them.
No.
It's a strange psychological as much as physically painting them.
I honestly think you're better off just like doing one little, whether it's just the musketeers, do those 2 ranks of musketeers, stick them down on base, put them on the shelf sort of at 3 feet away from you, so you can see what they look like. You can go, actually, they look all right. And then it will encourage you to do the rest, because I think you're right. It's psychological. It's entirely psychological.
For me, with the ACW ones, again, they looked a bit crap. What I thought brought them to life was once the skin goes on, once you add the banners, and once you base them. Once they're done, without those, they look crap. But for me, it was the flesh and the banners and the basing that really brought those figures to life. And that's how I managed to get. I mean, looking back, I got through so much of them so quickly. I even surprised myself at how quickly I actually got through those.
But you've been doing those 15 mil, 15 and 20 mil Second World War figures, which are more for individual skirmish. So is that the same? Because I don't really do that. Whenever I do 15 mils, it's always been mass battle figures. So
it's weird because literally before I came on tonight, somebody left a comment on an Instagram post asking me, any tips on painting them. And what I've realised is that I think I've just marked the comment because Ken has said exactly the same thing. It's same technique for all scales, and I've realised that there's no difference between how I painted the 15s to the 20s to the 28s. I've used the same base colours. There's certain nuances. So with the 20s, I've done slightly brighter highlights, and I leave the metallics slightly brighter. Otherwise, they would just at that scale you really wouldn't see anything. They'd just be too dull. So I do try and make them quite brighter compared to the 28 and the 15. Again, they were just minimal highlights, but quite bright. So I mean, I did think about it because I did say before I even painted them, I was like, how am I going to approach these? Because they're not quite one, they're not quite the other. What's the best way to go about them? But no, I'm happy with the technique I've got, and with the Germans as well. Just use exactly the same technique as I did for both 15 and 28. And it seems to work. It's all about the washes, though. With the 20 and the 50, the only difference is if I'm doing 28, I don't wash the entire figure. I just use it as into creases and things like that. Whereas with the 20 and the 15, they both get a full wash in my sepia and black combination that I use for most things, and that works really well. But yeah, like I said in my video about 20 mil, I'm still learning the scale, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna find new and different ways to do it. Let's address the elephant in the room, Martin. The approach you took when painting your 6 mil samurai. Enlighten us. Is this bringing back traumatic memories?
I can't even really remember what I did. I think I based them black, and then I picked out, for example, the armor is just like a blob of red here, a blob of red on that shoulder, a bit more on the chest, one, the legs, blob of flesh color on where I imagined the face would be, because it was more like the approximation of a face rather than actually seeing it. That was for 6mm, and then I think I slathered them in a wash, and then I have vague memories of highlighting them. I'm not quite sure how. I think I just did the
6mm. You highlighted them. Wow.
I just basically, I just got my 000 brush and just put some bright red on it, and just sort of, if you imagine you're knighting someone, I just went shoulder, top of the head,
fair enough.
And then moved on to the next one. And yes, I despise them. Let's face it. Let's be honest. The only reason that I did that was purely fueled by Ken going, "Oh, I'm going to get this all painted before Martin will next week." So it was just pure bloody mindedness. If I'd have sat, I would have stopped that. And to be honest, I think that if they were in strips, I wouldn't have had such a hatred, and I wouldn't have given them away in the raffle, because it just, there was a lot of them, and they're all in individuals, and there's nowhere for certain detail. The under the art, to me is, I enjoy painting, and there were things that I could see that I'd missed, and it just became frustrating, and I hated it. But I do enjoy painting smaller scales, because the thing I'm currently doing is the Baron's War stuff, which has taken slightly back step. But those are all individuals. I just kind of create little strips out of them. But the way I approach them, like this guy here, what I do for these is I put base coats over everything. I hit the whole thing with an all over wash, but like you say with the metallics, I try to leave them a bit brighter, and then I go in and I highlight, but I highlight quite bright, because Sean has said it quite a few times, is say, we want these things on the table, and I want them to lift color. So I don't care if something isn't, if it's more red than maroon, or if it's, a slightly brighter yellow than it would be, because I want to be able to see the figures, especially for the medieval period, where camouflage isn't really, I don't care really. So that's what I did with these, and then I just kind of smushed them all together. But I didn't bother. So all of their legs are done exactly the same. You've got the same color. I think it's is it Nasdreg yellow. I just went over the whole thing, given this kind of Agras Dunes. That's it. Kind of a sandy looking color, because a lot of the time they're hidden. I didn't bother paint, because those shields are all separate. So
really?
The shields are all separate. So I just paint those, and then just glue them all on. And I glue them all on before I paint them. So I don't bother painting behind the shield. I just use like a really, really dark brown wash, and just keep it all shaded. And then when they're together, again, it's that mass effect. You just want, I think they look pretty good. And I did exactly the same with the archers. I just, I pick out key colors on the archers. It's the bows and the tops of the arms that you can see. So they're the only bits I bother going back and sort of doing any second coat on. The skin, the faces on these are just one coat of whatever contrast flesh I happen to have at the time, and then I go back and just put a few dots of just a normal, standard flesh color on there, and that sort of nose and the tops of the cheeks. I don't know if that's actually what I've highlighted, but that's what it looks like. And then this one, obviously this chap I spent a little bit more time on. But again, it's just more about painting where the approximation of things are, to give the impression of stuff than actually painting it. I mean, I like 15mm. I keep on looking at 10. I've got an idea for a thing I want to do, but I can't tell if I want to do it that badly. So I might have to get some strips. I've got some Epic ACW to paint at some point, some of that. So I'll see how that goes. But yeah, I have no plans of venturing back down to lower than sort of 15 at the moment. Like, so I have got a little project. I can't decide whether or not to do it in 10 or 15. I'm leaning towards 15 because there's part of me that as a painter, I still want to do extra details, and I enjoy doing that. So yeah,
that was my big my big struggle with the epic stuff, is that the painter in me wants every single figure on that strip to be detailed.
Yeah, I get that.
But from my sanity and from a time perspective, and if I actually want to get them onto the tabletop, it's not going to happen. That's why when I started painting the ACW, I got a technique that I was happy with, and it was relatively quick to get through them.
As a bosher, I just want to get them out, so I don't really care. So they're actually better for me, the smaller scale. But yeah, I agree. I can see why that would be. I wouldn't go any smaller though. I painted those Victrix, whatever they were, 12, whatever. Yeah. And they weren't too bad to do, but I don't know. It just doesn't. The smaller they get, the less interested I am in them as a scale for some reason.
I did some 10mm Pendraken a few years back. I did some ACW, and I enjoy painting those. I think I just lost interest. I don't know what it was. I didn't really have an end goal for them. I was just painting them.
I've done some Bacchus ACW when I was thinking about that. I got some of them kicking around, but not very many. And then I did Pendraken as well, and I didn't fancy that either. And I think it was just me trying to convince myself not to buy that Perry Battle in a Box. But unfortunately, that game of Sharp Practice we played. The itching to do an ACW project is back. So
28 mil, Martin.
Well, that's what I said to you. I'm going to think I might hold out for that Muskets and Tomahawks expansion that will come along, because I think it's a system that will work really well for the ACW.
Probably will.
But yeah.
Ken, before we move on to you, James just remind us it's 9 o'clock. I think we're going to do the draw.
That's somebody who is very keen. Very keen. Hell. That's it. That's because he knows it, so he can just drive there and get it.
Right. So let's see if I can do this. I've had a day of IT issues, so I'm not in the best of moods when it comes to IT.
I did comment on last week's. Does that count?
Did you really?
You can't win. We won't redraw anybody apart from the one person I saw who said, "I'm not bothered about winning, so don't put me in it." But the other person is definitely you, Ken.
And absolutely 100% you are.
It's knocked off all the settings for me. Give me 2 seconds.
Thank you, Ian, for sponsoring this giveaway, and
impromptu one as well.
Podcast. Yes. So
here we go. So
there we go.
All I do is hit this button.
Can I say, how long has it taken Ian to find the stream, having sponsored it for I don't know how many editions now? That was the first time he's ever managed to find us, and you come on live.
We need to change the URL.
You know what? He appeared in the comments last week. It's like Livingston finding.
It was, and then he went on the Facebook. He was on the Facebook live link, and then after about 5 minutes, went, "There's nobody here. Where is everyone?"
Sent him to the wrong pub.
Right. Are we all done? So all I do is hit this button, and it's going to pick someone.
Yeah.
Drum roll.
Right, here we go. Drum roll.
Not a Wookiee.
The winner is Robert Cock. Congratulations, Robert.
Oh, well done.
Well done. What was the comment?
What did he
Love
say?
the show. I can't wait for Mondays.
We can't wait.
We can't wait. Congratulations, Robert. You have won.
Well done, mate.
You have won the. Did anyone see that? No, you didn't. I'm not showing my screen. I've actually got a tab open painting Napoleonic drummers. I wanted to see if anyone would notice, and clearly nobody did. So congratulations, Robert. You can contact us at the email address or one of us on Facebook if you're. I think Robert's in the group, isn't he?
I think so, but if not, the plasticcrackpodcast at gmail.com.
Yes, drop us an email.
Send us your address.
Yeah. In the video description, and we shall arrange for that to be sent to you forthwith. Enjoy. It's an absolutely brilliant starter box, and it can also be done as Polish Airborne as well, because you get the Polish Airborne caps. You can do what I do, pretend to be Gene Hackman,
He does as well.
With that authentic accent. Brilliant. Yeah, congratulations, Robert. Well done. And again, thanks a lot to Ian at Boards and Swords for donating such a really good prize. Chuffed with that. Yes, awesome. Top stuff, Robert.
And thank
God,
Ken didn't win.
Ken, on to you. What's the smallest scale? I mean, you've painted epic 6mm, haven't you?
Yeah, that's it. I've dabbled with 2mm, but I just threw them in the bin. Yeah, 6mm is the smallest I've done. So epic 6mm is something that I would comfortably paint. I've done some historicals. So I did some goals.
I've got to admit, all those really small. Yeah, I remember that.
I've done those. Yeah, I've got an army of them. Yeah, I've got an army of goals. To be honest with you, if I do small scale, 6mm will be the smallest, but I won't do historicals at 6mm. I'd only do sci-fi.
Oh, cool.
Or fantasy.
Yeah, why?
It's just because sci-fi, I don't know, they just seem a bit chunkier. Just a little bit easier to get the paint on.
Yeah, but that's range. Those ones that are those historicals I'm doing are like cartoons. That's just all down to range. You can get historicals at 6mm that are a bit more sort of heroic proportioned.
Okay.
You know, that's
okay. Oh, excuse me. Fuck's sake, come to me and I start yawning. Fuck.
So when you paint smaller things like that, then do you change your technique, or do you just?
I do block colors, wash. That's it. Block colors and wash.
Do you use contrast with those?
Depending on what it is. The Space Marines I did, I sprayed them yellow to start with, and then I just picked red over the top. I didn't even bother with anything else. And the Eldar I did, again, I sprayed them red, and then just picked the black over the top. I think I'd just go for schemes where I've only got 1 or 2 colours. I think that's just easier than having schemes that have got 5 or 6 colours. So like those ghouls, that's probably why I hated them so much. Because you got flesh tones, you've got reds, you've got browns, you've got greens, you've got blues, you've got all different colours. And it's just more having to keep changing. But with Marines, if I've got 200 Marines, I've got to paint 200 shoulder pads in red, and that's it. So it's dollop, 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 dollop. Dollop is quicker than going red, blue, green, thingy, red, blue, green, yeah. And plus you get vehicles as well.
Yeah,
with the more modern stuff, sci-fi wise. So I was like, yeah, I just prefer it. I don't know why. I like it in 6mm, but the historicals, no. I would buy them and use them if someone painted them for me. I would use them in a game, but I don't think I'd enjoy painting them as much. I think the smallest I'll probably go with that now is maybe 10, 15, something like that.
Do you know what? Speaking of the small historicals, I make some pretty sweeping statements on things I'd never do.
You do?
Not paint 20mm, not listen to the Smiths. I would actually, and as I've mentioned a couple of times, but I would actually consider as an experiment painting Napoleonics at 6mm.
Oh no, fuck no. Fuck no.
I don't know. I mean, I've tried it, I think it's because what year was it? Would have been 2006. I attempted to paint French Napoleonics at 6mm, and had to go and lie down in a dark room for a week. It's sent me funny. I think I painted 12 strips of it, and it.
What's the ones that it's the Prussians, isn't it? The blue with the grey trousers on it. Prussians. Yeah, yep. I might do the Prussians because there's not much details on it. It's just blue and grey trousers, and that's it. But then you've got a lot. But you say that, but then you've still got the shit on their backs. So you still got the backpack. You still got the sword. Nah, I couldn't do it.
The thing is, with this 6mm Napoleonics, it's always been sort of an itch because in 2006 I'd only been back in the hobby sort of a year to 18 months. And I went straight into trying to paint 6mm Napoleonics. So it might have been a bit of a step. But now you fast forward now. I don't know. I'm not saying never.
Never say
because yeah, well, it's pointless because all
Good
you got to
Lord,
do is
my.
look at the stash below and around my feet.
The problem is they're good value for money, aren't they? That's the thing. You can get a lot of battalions for a cheap amount of price.
The thing is, I love the idea because, as you say, you can do some massive battles on very little table space, but then you've got to paint massive numbers of figures, and that's what kills me with it. And also, I know there's people who love it, and apologies, but I don't particularly like the look of 6 mil or smaller figures. I think to me, it's like you might as well just use a card token rather than
or those wooden blocks for that game.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I think with the 6 mil thing, I do think it's a sort of a hobby challenge that they defeated me back in 2006, and I'd like to try. And I have looked at. I know it's Bacchus. They do bundles specifically for Black.
They
Powder.
do.
I don't want to do that because I'd probably spend 50, 60 quid, paint 4 strips, say, "Oh, bugger this! I hate this. This is why I gave up in 2006."
They're free samples.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, now you've got him. There we go. Did you hear that line going out there?
You can spend you just tell them. That's what I did for the ACW. I just said I'm really interested in your ACW engine. Then they just chuck some in there, and that's what it was. I think that was just before lockdown, so things might have changed. Basically, you just pay postage, and they chuck you a few models. It was on their thing. Pendragon do something similar, or it's only just a couple of quid, and they'll send you a couple of strips of cavalry, a couple of strips of infantry, and like an artillery piece, just to see how you get on.
I don't know. Andy from Hobby Support Group, he does a lot of 6 mil stuff.
He does,
and they always look really good. I don't know what it was with me because I did give up pretty quickly. I'll be honest. It's because that was around about the same time I was playing War Machine. And I don't think you can get any two contrasting figures from painting 6 mil Napoleonics to painting War Machine models. They're quite different. But I think
the lasting legacy of that phase was those beers that you drink and those films you watch. That was the lasting effect.
Nothing wrong with my beers of choice of the films that I put myself through.
Fuck off! That peach beer even made me.
The Bellini. My God, I had that on Saturday. It almost turned my face inside out. It was
I'm not surprised.
I was looking up beers today. It's a 75% strongest Scottish beer, 75% proof. Yeah, I was looking at it today. It's £49 a bottle.
You only have to buy one. Ever, because the chances of regaining consciousness are quite slim to zero. But yeah, it was. And the thing is, when I had that Bellini, that was on top of that chili that I made on Saturday as well. So
my God!
No, but not like Waterloo on Sunday.
My stomach was like a washing machine. It was terrible.
Lovely.
And I sat down and watched 3 Saw films. Anyway, moving on. So you, Dom, you've just said then. So you wouldn't go any smaller than 10, is that correct?
I don't know that I'd even go to 10 anymore. I think I mean, like you,
5 seems to be your butte, Dom.
Yeah.
Never say. Well, no, as John Stannard said the other day, they are 15 mil, and he's right. They are really 15 mil. It's just that all 15 mils now are actually 18 mils. Anyway, whatever. I wouldn't go. Yeah, I'm like you, Steve. I'm never going to say definitively no. I'm not going to do it because that will probably be a lie. But I just don't like painting them that small. To me, no. I'm not sure I like the effect on the table, particularly for me. I know, again, I've seen some lovely games, and I know people love it. For me, it just doesn't do it for me. And so I just think, well, why would I put myself through it?
Absolutely fair enough.
So the chance of you doing 2 millimeter are sort of slim to zero.
I think that one's pretty safe bet, that one, mate. Yeah. I remember years ago, one of my mates who I used to game with, Tom, he came and he was seriously going on about using hair rollers for figures. And I thought, well, you're kind of getting to that point, it's like, because he said, well, what's the difference? And it's like, yeah, you're right, really. So, yeah, no. Sorry.
So, Ken, what's the smallest you'd venture into? Keep it clean.
Probably 2 mil Napoleonics. You haven't got
2 mil Napoleonics.
2 mil Napoleonics.
Yeah, because you haven't got to paint the detail, have you?
We've got to paint them. Just get one big brush and go. Yeah,
just drop them in the pot.
They're
Blue
just there to
ones,
represent pieces, aren't they? If I do a massive, huge game.
Well, when I've seen what's that 2 mil game that Mark Backhouse did? Was it Strength and Honor?
Yeah.
So I was watching him play that, and the 2 mils are interesting because it's not. I think Rob that was posted before with the 2 mil that it was more about the contrasting colours to make it look like a crowd of people. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't really the person. It was just. So if you were above them, which you would be, and it's the contrast of just a visual representation of a bunch of people, because it's meant to be thousands and thousands and thousands of people on each base, or hundreds of people on each base. So yeah, it's always been a strike. So the one that we made bought the Covenanters, they had like high. It was like a block because they had like high pikes. But it's just never. It's never really. I don't know. Actually, I'm never going to say never because that's pointless in this hobby. Because you just clearly, as I've demonstrated. So, Martin, what's the smallest range scale?
Probably the absolute smallest I'd probably do is 10. Now watch me go and make a foot. No, I'd say probably the smallest I'd do is 10. I just enjoy painting them, I guess. And I'm if I was going to EW Gold at mass battle effect, I'd rather paint things well and paint a lot of them to do a mass battle. Not paint well, but I'd rather spend that time. I mean, it's probably sound how that sounded. What I mean is, I'm quite happy to buy more and spend longer painting to get a bigger battle. And then go and find somewhere. I don't really care about the space that I have. I can get an 8x4 or even a 10x6 if I want. But I'm quite happy to just sit there and just paint them up. That even if it takes me 2-3 years to do an army. I haven't got any. Well, I was about to say I haven't got any friends. No, I have no one sitting there going, oh, we're going to get this done. It's not like when we used to play 40k and things and you were trying to get that next unit painted before next week's game. These are projects that I do and I paint both sides, so they just go as fast as I want them to. Yeah. So if I want to spend a bit longer doing 28 mil or 50, but it's like that Barons War thing at the minute. It's just taking a bit of a pause because at the moment I'm working on a bunch of 28 mil stuff, and I will be working on 28 mil stuff for quite a long time with what's coming up. So yeah, I don't know. Strength and Honor, I don't know. The 2 mil thing doesn't really interest me. I love games and everything is a gaming piece, isn't it? But at that point I think I just like playing war games and board games. Sorry, board games rather than war games, because I enjoy the painting part of it a lot more and I like the details. I like painting faces. I like doing that. So yeah.
No, I mean it's interesting. Like I say, Alex, I know you pulled him up over his planes, but he predominantly plays just the one scale. And yeah, I can see pros and cons in all of them, and I think I'm getting worse with this hobby butterfly thing, because all people have to do is post something in the Facebook. I mean, Kate, absolutely perfect example is Dan and his 10mm fantasy stuff.
Oh god, yeah.
I've been on that site quite a few times. And
what site is that? Is that Rock Miniatures?
Rock Miniatures.
Yeah, they warfare.
And I keep thinking I probably should, and I'm like, nah, I've got other things. But then I keep going back and go, I probably should, because I would love to fight a good fantasy game at that scale. I think it would work really, really well. You could even do Warlords of Erewhon at that scale, which I think I'd rather enjoy. But there's loads of fantasy games out there that you could use. I don't know. And I think these days with so many scales available and so many manufacturers, and it's a tough one. especially if you have got an absolute lack of willpower like me. It's
So do again, without wanting to be controversial, because that's Ken's bit usually, but do people? Okay, this is going to come out wrong, and I'm sure I'm going to say this in the wrong way, and I don't mean to offend anybody at all. But
here we go. Strap yourself in.
To me, the best thing about any game is the visual effect, and I still don't think you can beat a mass game of 28 or 15 mil figures. I just don't 54. See. Yeah, but then you need a bigger building
warehouse
here, don't you, to play the damn thing?
I mean, I've said
so unless you've got a justification because you don't have the space or the money, for that matter, to do it, why would you choose to do 6 mil or 2 mil or less?
I don't. I mean, I've said before, and I'll say it again. A 28 mil, a big 28 mil game of Napoleonics on a big table is one of the most striking things you will see in the hobby. I mean, it doesn't hold any interest for me, but it's it's striking. It just looks impressive. All you've got to do is look at Steve's channel, so Basement 1908.
Yeah.
Go and look at his Napoleonic games and tell me that isn't insanely impressive what he does, because it looks absolutely stonkingly good.
Even if you don't know the game, just to look at the visual,
just a look, just a look, yeah.
Well, that game we played on Friday with all the medieval figures, that looked good. It was a massive number of figures on a big-ish table. To me, that's the pinnacle of the hobby for me. And so I can see why people would do it smaller scale if they just, they're doing it on their kitchen table, or I don't know, just literally had no funds to pay for it. Then that's fair.
So that game that you played on Friday night, if you could reduce that exactly the same size forces, but put it down to like 10 millimeter scale, do you think it wouldn't have the same visual impact as 28?
No, it definitely wouldn't. No way. No way.
That's
now,
interesting.
Could you have as much fun? Like, probably. Because it's still your mates gathering around the table having a bit of a laugh, rolling some dice and talking shit. But visually, no, I don't think it would. I genuinely don't think it would be as good.
And so reducing it down to sort of 6 mil, then do you think it'd lose all visual appeal altogether?
Apart from the fact we wouldn't be able to get around the table because Miller's so bloody big, you take over the entire table.
He dropped so many. He dropped one of your commanders. Then when we were walking around the stalls, he knocked something over on one of the stalls as well.
I mean, so no, basically.
No.
Right. Okay, I think it's time for a bit of news, and then we'll get on to looking at some comments from the viewers and how they approach the smaller scale of projects. So, hand it over to you guys, because I found nothing. So,
I've
what
got
have
a few
you found?
things. Do you want to go first, Dom, or shall I?
Oh, you can, mate. I'm just up to my ears in glue.
All right.
So, thank you.
Why is it in your ears?
Because I can get it everywhere, mate.
Right. We're not going to put the horrible intro on. And we're still not going to. He's going to put it on, isn't he? I can see him. He's going to click it.
No, I'm not.
You were active. You were moving your mouse. Right. So.
Or something.
No, I'm looking at Napoleonics. To be fair,
he's looking at the scrotum.
Right.
So we might as well talk about it then, because talk about small scales that GW have announced next week. The Epic box is up for pre-order. Epic, there's not the same scale as the old Epic, but slightly bigger than the old Epic, but still Epic. It's going to be.
Still use your old figures.
My head.
Still use your old figures.
Yeah, you can still use them, but they're bigger and they won't be the same, Ken. So there's
how do you base them? That's the important thing.
You base the base. So, yeah. Anyway, there it is. So I know a lot of people are excited about this. So there's the set, but this picture's wrong, because there's 4 tanks. I think it's I'm using my mouse, and then I've just realised that no one can see that. But there's 4 of these little tanks at the back that apparently aren't in the box.
Probably the Lehman Russ.
No, it's something else. I'd remembered Lehman Russ. No, it's something else. Kratos. I think it's Kratos tanks or something. Anyway, there's 4 tanks in there that they've got to airbrush out, and then they've even GW quite good. Yes, we fucked up. We're going to airbrush those out. So that's what you get in the box, and that's up for pre-order next week, and very popular. It's going to be as well. But for people like Ken, the rule book is just going to be released on its own, and then there was a whole bunch of other stuff on there as well. Oh no, apparently the Kratos is included, but now it's not. And now it is, and now people are arguing about it. Well, GW said they're not. GW said they're not in there, so I'm going to go with what they say because they always tell the truth.
Of course.
Sticking with our benevolent overlords, they've been posting up more about the old world, and we did a thing about it the other day because everyone's going old world mad except me. So they've released some details on the shooting phase, and it's exactly the same as the shooting phase used to be. So
yeah,
my God.
They're taking, like I said to you, they're just taking a load of things from different editions and putting it together.
So far, they've taken nothing from any of the editions past 6th. They've just gone and just taken everything. They've gone, do you remember when it was good? We should just do that. But what was quite interesting was they've definitely taken some. Well, obviously the original stuff was Priestley, but they've got some stuff about formations and columns of march and things that I thought was quite amusing that affect armor saves and things. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. Wonder where you got that from. So anyway, that's going up. Still no word on a release date. Some people are still banding around March. I think that's bollocks because they've only just sort of started going about Bretonians, so I don't know if they're going to get that out in time for those people. Another box set, some might be up some people's street. I know it's up Steve's. Warlord, I have shown off it's on pre-order. It's the ABC Warriors box set, so £75 for the game, some scenery, 2 sides, bunch of cards, rulebook, all of the normal stuff that you expect from these 2000 AD boxes. And it's the same system, isn't it, Steve? The way it works.
I believe so. I mean, I've got both Judge Dredd and Strontium Dog, and the mechanics are brilliant. I'll be honest. It's when you play it, it's got a comic book style, comic book vibe. It's very fast paced, and I'm hoping they do the same thing with ABC Warriors because they've nailed that mechanic. It's fantastic.
Yeah. No. And they've also announced a bunch of other things as well, like this. I thought I'd read a lot of the ABC Warrior stuff, but I probably just had one book and read it lots of times. So if you guys want to paint up some massive robots and smash into each other, then maybe that's going to be up your street. Another thing I saw, Knuckle Duster have announced some lawmen on there that I thought
they look good,
pretty cool. Yeah, so Knuckle Duster have got some quite nice sets actually. So if you don't want to build your own sets, from those plastic multi-part sets, you're looking for something a little bit more stylized, then go and check out Knuckle Duster miniatures. They've often got like a miniature of the mud. What was that? Was that Steve?
What the hell was that?
Yeah, it's my
was that? What was that?
Hearing that just gave me a hernia.
I thought what it was, but loads of wild
scrotum was coming for us.
Just the scrotum. So it's the cry of the scrotum. That's a black metal. That's a black metal album, isn't it? That's what I saw.
Okay. Couple of things I saw. Where is it? There you go. Eagles of Empires. They said they're going to start doing. Or he said he's going to start doing World War One. Now he's the guy that does the Franco-Prussian and the Prusso-Austrian War figures that are really nice. they're an odd. They have a bit of a slightly different odd system, but they could be used for pretty much any period. But they're really nice figures, so it's going to be interesting to see what he does with these. And I think from the post he put up on this Facebook page, he said he's going to cover pretty much all the combatants eventually from both East and West Front. So they do look good. They do look good. So I'm not sure the timelines, but that's just the initial concepts of them. So
okay. I'm waiting for Alex's comment.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
Yeah,
too.
I'm waiting for Alex as well.
Come on, Alex.
Alex, it's been up.
Let's
for
get it out of the way,
45
Alex.
seconds.
Come on. God damn it. Then we can move on. No, all right. We'll keep going then. Other things I have seen is Wargames Atlantic are just going bananas with
They
their
are
3D
on
stuff.
a roll at the moment. They really are.
Sheesh. I picked up 2, but I think there's another 2 that I've missed. So these ones caught my eye because they look really cool and they remind me of my ancient armies, ancient Indian archers.
I was going to say, you're partial to ancient Indians, aren't
I am. That's a funny way of putting it, but yes, you're quite right. I am. Yeah, but they do look good. I'll give them that. So, and then also Spanish guerrillas, which I'm actually painting some front rank ones at the moment. So, so yeah, loads of them. And there are another couple that I saw come through, but I didn't manage to pick them up today. So apologies. But just check out Wargames Atlantic's digital offerings. Ken, how do they work? Do you subscribe and get them all, or is it just
You can
have
buy
to buy
them.
them?
You can buy them individually, or you can be part of their tribes. Yeah, tribes. Tribes, you get everything. Obviously, from when you started the tribes. So I started mine originally, so I've got everything so far.
Cool.
So,
There you go. Alex says they're far better than those Wargames Atlantic ones, but too big for me. But then he also said, "Lol, they're not 6 mil." So I think he's on the source. That's all I'm saying. The other one I saw was talking about smaller scales.
Oh yeah,
Victrix is 12 mil, so they've got the British Airborne coming out. So again, if you want to do smaller scales and you want a shitload of figures, 184 in that pack that they're giving out. I mean, it's a lot of figures for not an awful lot of lolly, and judging by the ones I saw,
it's Umbrella Man. He's on there, isn't he? Oh, nice.
Yeah, they got everybody.
Wow.
Judging by the scale, the detail on the previous ones they did, they'll be very, very good indeed. So there you go. I think that's all. Oh, the only other thing is obviously. Where is it? Here you go. The plastic crack dice and mug secondary order. I've had a few emails in. I think about 5 people have emailed in. If you are interested in
another
them,
one as well, actually.
have you? Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
If you do want to order these, reminder that we will close the book at the end of the month. And then place a special order. So we're not quite sure when we'll get them, but hopefully before Christmas we'll get them all in. So those are the UK prices. So if you are from further afield, let us know and we can work out the pricing for postage to get them out to you if you are interested. And if you just email us at theplasticcrackpodcast at gmail.com, you can tell us how many you want and what you want and what have you, and we can sort out payments and what have you. So thank you. I have had a few, but I have emailed back to most people who had already asked today just to say what to do. But just as I say, just be aware they probably won't be with us until December sometime.
Yeah.
Cool. Whenever you go to that, I know we've got quite a few Alan Partridge fans that watch us. So I think we should do a PCP tie and blazer badge combination set for £20.
Maybe we should next year's CrackCon. We should all go to the curry house wearing a
PCP tie and blazer badge combination set.
Mm-hmm.
Alex has said Battlefront are re-releasing their First World War ranges in December.
Ooh, interesting.
Rules. But Alex, you donated those rules to the raffle.
Yeah. Does that mean they weren't very good? Oh dear.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been kind of poetic if, like Ken, you donated some rules and then won them back. which I still think was one of the most beautiful things that's happened.
That was a beautiful
Ken's
moment.
reaction would suggest he wasn't too enamoured with that with that prize.
Another thing, while we're talking about CrackCon, just thinking about, I know some people have already sent in their sort of suggestions for games and whatnot, and I've already had a couple of people saying, when are you going to tell us? When are you going to tell us? It's only flipping November. We won't get around to. We haven't even looked at what people have asked for yet,
No.
So please bear with us.
We just want ideas. We just want ideas, and then we'll look at it. And if you're going to send one, because we've had some great ones, but we've had a couple of people just email going, I'll put on a game.
Yes. Tell us
great.
What.
You know, or you know, yeah, that would be helpful because it just gives us an idea.
And what we don't want is to turn up and 4 people have got the Connect 4 out. That would just be really embarrassing, wouldn't it? 4 people all playing Connect 4. Yeah, PCB cravat would work really well.
Yeah, so just if you are interested, as I say, same email address, send us the suggestion of what you would like to do. And what sort of table size you think you need, and then yes, it would be, wouldn't it?
Dress up for CrackCon. Did you not see my shirt? I went as Magnum.
Yeah, he did too. Jeez.
Anyway. Right, yeah. So if you are going to email us, just make sure you tell us what game
what you want to do. That's kind of crucial.
Yeah. Right, let's have a look at some comments from people on their approach. So Robin does 2 mil and ECW and 3 mil moderns. How popular is 3 mil? Because until tonight I didn't know it was a thing. I really didn't.
I didn't, but I guess on the basis that everybody games everything, I'm not surprised. But wow. Now that I can sort of understand because the ranges involved in a modern game are so immense. That game that might work, wouldn't it? But I wouldn't. That game do it.
That I've mentioned before, back when I was a young whippersnapper at our local games club, and there was these old crusty types, and they had this big, massive game, and it looked like the most boring thing I have ever. They had charts. I'm not joking. These things were like someone has stapled 4 copies of the Financial Times together, just huge, great, big things. And nothing ever seemed to happen. It was just men looking at charts. It wasn't. Maybe it was just me, but I just didn't get the appeal of it.
Sure it wasn't train spotters looking at train timetables.
Oi, there's nothing wrong with looking at trains.
So David's painted a few 2 mil naps before, literally just a few blobs of colour. Find your inner impressionist. Well, that's what I said about the strength and honor stuff. It literally was just the contrasting colours that made the block. So Mark, 2 mil's quite simple. Just a little dabs of colour. Yeah. Oh yeah, I mentioned before. So Ken said, yeah, same technique for all scales, and I just found myself adapting each one, but largely the approach was the same colours, same approach, same technique. And I think it's better for your sanity doing it that way rather than having separate techniques for every scale. I couldn't do it. Alex with 1 for everybody. 3-foot rule. I think that applies. Is just
3-foot rule.
Everybody should adhere to that.
It's odd, given I'm not that bothered about painting, that I should really love the smaller scale, shouldn't I? Because then I don't have to worry about it. But it still doesn't do it for me.
Like you've said, the one sneeze and it's off the table, isn't it?
It's true. And you've heard what Ken's like. So when he comes around here and sneeze, it'll be halfway across to Ascot somewhere. Jeez.
So Benjamin, but small scale's all about making the bases look good. They are 80% of the mini. Do you know what? That's true. When I did a video about my epic ACW, I had so many people asking me how I did the basing, and I think that it sets off the miniature. So like I said, with these pike and shot, they may look like utter trash now, but I think once the base to pop a couple of flags on, I think I'll be happy with them. I think Nick was saying that he would the other one. Nick was saying that he would button count 2 mil. Cheers, Nick. Yeah, so it's one from Rob. The smaller the figures, the brighter the colours need to be. That's what Martin was saying before. And the basing needs to contrast the figures, otherwise everyone will merge into a brown mess. Absolutely. I think you do need to employ a bit of artistic license at any smaller scales. Otherwise, you're just going to lose the effect. Painting camouflage on sort of 6mm figures. There's one for you, Don. Make a video on that, please.
No, thank you.
There's one from Steph. So faces, bases, and flags. Absolutely. I think because they're going to be sort of the brighter part of it, I think it's going to really contrast well with the actual figures. So I'm actually really looking forward to basing these pike and shots to see what they look like. Sounds like a bit of sadism. Another one from Alex. So if you can paint lines and dots on 28mm figures, you can paint 6mm. Yeah.
Good point.
Very true.
Probably true, but do you want to?
Well, that's a case in point altogether, isn't it? One from James. He's with Dom. The smaller scales don't really do anything for me as a painter, and they're too much like tokens rather than war games figures.
Yep.
But there is some cracking 6mm stuff out there.
Oh, it is.
I can't actually remember what those 6mm Napoleonic French look like. I know they were made by Bacchus, but I can't remember anything about. Like I say, I lost them years ago in a house move. I think I accidentally threw them out.
Probably for the best, Steve.
No great loss. And back in the day, looking at charts and talking the good. Yes.
The whole thing also with different size. We've talked about this before, I know, but then you've got to do the freaking terrain as well and buildings and everything else. It's bad enough. I mean, bad enough doing 28mm, 15mm, 20mm. Then you start doing the smaller ones. You got to do them too. Oh, jeez.
I think there's a. I know, Dom. Sometimes you come back to you for what it was like,
back in the day, the black and white days.
Yeah. What was scales like back then? What was the scales?
25mm, my man, or 15mm. That was your two. That was all you had. Actually, no, it's not true. There was 6mm as well, but yeah, they were only weirdo, modern, and Second World War occasionally you'd see in that. But no, I to be honest, I'm actually going to go back on that. There was 20mm as well because, as you're discovering, that 172nd or 176th are there's just a myriad of manufacturers of that, and always seems to have been there. So yeah, I suppose you didn't get things like 10mm or 12mm or 13mm or 6 or 2mm or things like that. From what I remember, it was the main stuff, the main crack.
Here's a good idea from Rob. Monopoly buildings are great for 2mm. I think that would work really, really well.
Actually, probably would, to be fair. It probably would.
That'd be brilliant.
Red Steph says it was it took him ages to get used to saying 28 rather than 25. It's true, because they were 25mm. They were properly 25mm.
So has 25mm just died a death now? Is it just
pretty much,
not available? Like I said, I was surprised the other week when I was painting those Games Workshop Eldar. They're not 28. They're massive. They're huge. And it's weird to see it because they're definitely getting bigger. GW figures, they really are. But there's
a definite scale creep. I mean, that's kind of what that people were saying about these epic figures, the epic pike and shot and ACW from Warlords, is that they're saying, they're 13.5, and actually. Seeing Stannard talk about it the other day on one of his little video Q&A things, which are quite good, actually. Sounds like it's going to be Medievals next, by the way. And he was saying, they're not epic. They're not a special scale. They're true 15mm. And actually, you look at them, they are, because I've been ripping all my old 15mm ECWs off bases, and they are old ones, and they're proper 15mm, and they match up absolutely perfectly with the epics. They are 15mm. It's just that your likes your ABCs and whatever ABCs, AB miniatures and various others are actually 18 if you look at them. Sometimes
don't start that off again. Fucking hell, Martin, you remember that?
Yeah, that was amazing.
I just think as well. I mean, another thing that's prompted this is the work people post in the Facebook group. It's just scales all over the place. People are painting so many different scales, from sort of 6 up to 28, and sometimes larger. So I think I know we mentioned it last week when Rich was on about is this the golden time of wargaming. I think for scales, I think if you wanted to do something in any scale, especially with 3D printing as well, you can have pretty much anything at any scale that you want.
So here's a question, Steve, for the audience or for everybody else here. What's the most different scaled armies of the same type that people have got? So you've got in your British Army, you've got 15, 20, and 28.
Yeah.
Can anyone beat three?
And Germans will soon be the same. Yeah, it's an interesting question. Martin, have you got anything like that? Or Ken, have you got anything in multiple scales?
Space Marines. Got them in 6, 28. Yeah, 6 and 28 for me.
No.
That's a definitive answer, right there.
Very definitive.
No, I've got World War II at multiple scales, but different armies. So I've got Germans at 15, but I've got British at 28.
Ah, right.
I don't, and I've said this before. This is why the epic Napoleonic thing didn't bother. I don't want to paint the set. I mean, yeah, I knew that was going to appear. I knew. But my personal taste. I've done it. I've done that project. It's why, again, with the epic pike and shot. I've just finished like a sizable Civil War one. Why would I want to do it again? Unless I did what Dom did, which is do it for the 30 Years' War.
Yeah.
Which is, that'd be fine. But I just can't. My personal things. No, I've done because to me they're individual projects, and I like to put a lot of time and research in that, and I can't. We play so. All of us want to play more games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would rather have a wider variety of time periods and projects to play games than the time period just at multiple scales for the couple of people I might play it against. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah. I would rather that's why I'd rather just do another project. So like Baron's War, I'm doing that at 15.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't Wars of the Roses. Even if the next Warlord release, which if it was Wars, I probably wouldn't do it. I don't know, not unless I got my mitts on it another way. I don't think I'd optionally go and get it. Because I've already done it. I don't want to redo it. The idea of Napoleonic thing, the idea of doing Highlanders at a smaller scale. What planet do people? What's wrong? What kind of mental gymnastics do you have to do where you're like, oh, this looks like fun. So no, I just said I'm not particularly. I mean, the epic. What we were just talking about the epic 40k stuff, or 30k even. It looks cool. But I think if I was going to do, and I nearly did buy a Space Marine the other day because I just had that weird hankering to do one. I would want to do it at 28 because or whatever the hell it is now, because I like all the details. I like all of the ornate armor. I like it would be a challenge, a lot of people like Warhammer because of the big like Ken, you like the big scale of all these battles, don't you? For the Horus Heresies, I like the individual characters a lot more. I prefer the individualism of stuff in that rather than the grand scale of things. So that's how sort of I look at it. But yeah, no. I pick a scale, I stick to it, or I throw it in the bin and then. So it's like the Carthaginian thing, yeah. If I'd have stuck with that, and then I'd got, but I got rid of that, so I might do Carthaginian. Say, if those came out as an epic release, I'd probably do it. But I have no. If I'd already done it at 28, I wouldn't do it again at a smaller one. I'd convince someone else to do it for me.
Well, I think with World War II, I wouldn't go any lower than 15 mil. I don't know.
I assumed it would be Second World War that most people would do different, army scales.
Yeah, What imagine? I mean, because people
Although
have
it
said to
just
me
proved us wrong with those Romans at all different scales. Jesus
A lot-
Christ.
when I started the 20 mil, a lot of people I was talking to were saying, in their opinion, 20 mil is, excuse me, the best scale for World War II. Because it's just, I mean, I think there was a guy with a comment on my video today saying that if he could, he'd get rid of his and all his friends 28 mil, and everyone would just play World War II at 20 mil. And quite a few people have said that. So it's kind of what I've found. It's a bit of a cult following. 20 mil. People are really dedicated to it.
Oh, there is. It's a proper little, community in its own right, almost playing that. It's a good scale.
It is. And like I said, it is a definite rabbit hole. Right, let's have a look at some pictures of what people have done. There's been some awesome stuff this week. As I say every week, if you're not a member of the Facebook group, womble across to Plastic Crap Podcast, answer Dom's questions 3, and ye shall be admitted entrance to the hallowed land.
That's coming back on. That is Wombles.
Is it
coming back? Yeah, it's coming back on. Old version of it. Watch that. My child.
I don't think kids are going to get the Wombles these days. It's like, imagine what would happen if you show kids the Moomins. It'd terrify them.
The Moomins got redone, and it's. I've never made it to the end of an episode because whoever made the music for it, it's like hypnotize, just sends me to sleep. Kids love it though.
No. Yeah. So yeah, if you can get across the Facebook group and join. So first off, now these. I may not be a fan of Napoleonics, but these blew me away. These are from Christopher. These is Hussars. Look at them.
Oh, they are awesome.
Oh, they're done. Yeah, I showed one of them off the other week. He's finished the unit now.
Yeah,
They
look just
great, don't they?
absolutely stunning.
It's the Bardin, isn't it?
Beyond. Martin, were they the ones who were trying to get me to paint?
Yes.
Yeah, they're Hussars.
Jesus, wet. Just no way would I even be able to approach painting them. They're just brilliant. They're just absolutely fantastic. Oh, good stuff. Up next is Carl. He's been working on his he's like Dead Man's Hand stuff. Look at these.
Oh, yeah. Oh, really nice.
These are outlaws and lawmen.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Very cool.
Are they metals? Are they the 3D printed ones?
I think they're metal.
No, they're metals. Why would they be?
Oh, they are the metal ones.
What, 3D printed from what? For who?
There's a different company that do cowboys in 3D prints. They did a Kickstarter not too long ago.
Oh, okay.
No,
they're metals.
What I like about them is just how nappily dressed the lawmen are. They look awesome. Some proper good Western
lovely
attire going on there. Brilliant stuff. Up next, a bit more Napoleonics from Daniel and it's Piano Miniatures. There we go.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
I don't know what that is, so someone will have to enlighten me.
It's Württemberger.
54
Guard Grenadier, I think.
Yeah,
very nice.
Very
nice.
Is it 54 or has he just done a...
I think he's just done a shit.
No, it's just a
great job of it. It looks like it should be bigger, but it's not.
Just look
well done.
Look at the contrast on the face. It's just...
Yeah.
He looks like a proper old fart officer, doesn't he?
Yeah. A grizzled veteran, that is for sure. Yeah, awesome. They are lovely figures too.
So up next is Kit with some Newmark Dragoons.
Oh, very nice. God, there's something seeping into your consciousness here, Steve.
No, there isn't.
Stop saying things like 3 things have been Napoleonic. I think you protest too much, sir.
Quiet, you. No, they. What I like with them is the blue with the pink contrast. It just looks so nice.
Beautiful.
Oh,
wow.
Stuff.
Yeah, really
brilliant.
Good. And there's something about a bit of pink, isn't there? I don't know. It must be a bit like the dice.
Your Cleveberg were pink, weren't they?
They were. That was the only colour to them when I realised they could be.
So up next, a bit of normalcy for Dom. So Lewis has been painting some Black Legion commanders. Look at them, chaps. Yay!
Oh, nice. Cool.
Hooray!
They just
no, very nice.
They just reek of evil, don't they? I mean,
They certainly do.
They're not going to do. They're not going to be nice to you, then, chap.
No, I love the little thing that's popping out of the base.
They're not gonna help a poor old lady across the road, are they?
No, not with that amount of spikes and chains and blades and spikes and more spikes because they're just spikes.
Spiky.
Spiky. Up next is Lee with A Song of Ice and Fire.
Oh, cool. Lannisters.
Lovely red on that. Really nice.
They are cool. They are nice models, those. They really are. My mate's got them. They are really, really nice.
Wow.
Very nice work.
What scale are they?
They're like 30. They're 32.
I was going to say the bases and the figures look kind of big.
No, they are. They're 32.
Yeah, big figures.
But that is a lovely, lovely shade of red that's been used.
Does it mean the guy to the right of the cavalry guy looks small?
Are they on a mat? They're on a mat now, right? Maybe. Yeah, look, the mat.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
They're higher up.
Yeah, they're higher.
Yeah. I'll have to do my Father Ted sketch again then. So Nathan, who was very pleased to win the first cracking prize at the raffle, the Blood and Plunder starter set, he's really...
And none of us hated him for it at all, did we?
No. He's been cracking on. Look at that.
Jeez,
that is
brilliant.
He's made some stunning progress on that. My God,
that's very, very nice.
I wouldn't have got anywhere near that. I don't know. It's a game that I'm trying to avoid because it's so good. And having played it, I really enjoyed it. I just like the fast-paced violence of it all. It was a fantastic game. Not that I'm amused by fast-paced violence.
Not at all. Not at all.
That's why I watch Songs of Praise. So yeah, no, great stuff there by Nathan. He's really, really cracking on with that. Matthew has been working on Batman.
Oh yes, yeah, he's done a video on this as well. It's very cool.
Wow.
He bought that. Yeah, he bought that one. So excellent.
That's a figure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy shit!
He's had a cracking job.
Really
nice. Really,
very
really
nice.
nice.
I thought that was the poster, and you were about to show me the picture.
No, it's the Dark Knight Returns.
Oh wow,
Batman,
that's really cool.
Which is awesome. That's the one where he's slightly more psychopathic than normal.
I don't even like Batman, but there we go.
What?
Did you say you don't like Batman?
Yeah, I'm more Iron Man, isn't it?
So,
right. So up next, this is Paul. These, I think they're called, from what I remember, Sisters of the Salty Disposition.
That's fucking brilliant.
They're essentially space nuns that he's using for grim dark future, and I think these are absolutely brilliant. There's just something about them. I don't know. There's just so many different influences going on with those figures, and a cracking paint job as well. Yeah, the Sisters of Salty Disposition, can't go wrong with that. Paul he's painted a zombie. There we go. Classic.
Yes, he won a competition with this one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, classic Vampire Count zombie. I got some of those. They're very cool.
I think those ones came out even before they were Vampire Counts. I think that was just they were out back when it was just good old fashioned undead.
Look at the base. Look at the base.
Goblin green.
Goblin green with sawdust and highlights in yellow.
Yeah. No, he won it. Yeah, he won a competition with that. I think it was the sort of a classic GW one. I won't mention who ran the competition, but yes, he did. Dom's nemesis. But yeah, those are lovely. Those are good to see. Yep. I like it set. Very cool.
Some bolt action 28mm Germans from Phil. Lovely stuff.
Oh wow.
Very, very nice.
Oh yeah.
In fact, if you go on the Facebook group, he's posted a picture of the whole squad. They look really good. He's done a cracking job on them.
Nice helmet.
Really, really nice. Yeah, brilliant. We've talked about it before. Robin has been doing some 20mm British. There we go. Look at these. Yay! Look at them.
They're very cool.
Oh,
He scaled those
wow.
down. They're 28s that he
Yeah.
scaled down and printed.
God damn it, Robin.
Good man. Printing.
They're lovely.
Jeez.
Really,
Printer-
really nice.
Printer you got, Robin. I'm interested.
He's already said, but you don't pay attention. Yes.
No, they're and that's what I mean about the highlights at that scale. They really pop. Stephen's been cracking on with more of his 40k. I love this model, and it's just
that is bloody hell.
it's
Oh, nice Chaplin. Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah,
That is really cool.
Nice Chaplin.
Ultramarines Chaplain. Just it's just just so good. I don't know what yeah, brilliant work. I always look forward to seeing Stephen's updates though. His 40k
I do
stuff.
like those.
Um,
This isn't making it easy. I managed to not order something earlier. So.
Are you leaning towards the Primaris stuff, Martin, or the normal stuff?
Oh no, I'm fucking not. If I do anything, it'll be 30k stuff.
Yeah.
Good.
If I do anything, the primary.
The Primaris just shit. There's no point in
No,
using that.
it looks. I think they've got some nice looking models. I just quite like the idea of painting something quite big and chunky.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm resisting it at the minute because I've got far too much to paint. I don't need to add to it. And what might just be a momentary fancy.
What makes me laugh is the Primaris stealth guys. I mean, they're 8.5 foot tall. How can you be stealthy when you're 8.5 feet tall wearing power armor?
I don't.
Anyway, last up, because he's always last because his name starts with W. It's Warren. He's been painting some dwarfs. Look at them.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, they're good, aren't they?
Nice spears. Yeah, they are very nice.
Lovely.
They are absolutely cracking. Brilliant
Very
stuff.
good. Some lovely stuff as usual.
As usual.
Well done.
And again, thanks to everyone for posting in the Facebook group. Always look forward to seeing what people have been up to. I don't know. It's just you can never guess. You can literally never guess what people are going to be posting. There's so many diverse projects and people working on all kind of weirdy scales and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, if you aren't a member of the group, pop along again, answer Dom's questions, and get through.
Is there a community with such a diverse collection of collectors and gamers? I don't think.
I don't know. I mean, it never surprises me what's in there. It's just because people have just got. And the good thing about it is everyone is engaged, no matter if it's something you don't do, or it's not a scale you work in, or it's not a game system or a period.
Yeah.
People are still enthused by it.
Yeah. Well, look at that Batman. I don't like that sort of thing, but that model was just
brilliant.
nothing. It was just incredible, wasn't it?
So no, like I say, great community. Everyone is just fantastic. Right, we're 2 minutes into overtime. What is this insanity? 2 minutes into overtime on Monday night. Big thanks to everyone that joined us tonight for a chat about scale. I really enjoyed that. I got quite a few hints and tips from them. It was good getting people's input as well from working across different scales, seeing as I'm currently in the middle of one. Don't forget, we are sponsored by Boards and Swords, so pop over to the web store, use the code PCP5 on the way out when you check out, and you'll get a nice 5% discount. Big thank you to everyone that's watching this on the catch up, and everyone just do the YouTube stuff.
Oh, blimey!
See, that was knocked off from your house, Tom.
I think it did. That was him. That was him doing the YouTube stuff. Auntie Mabel said, "Don't you dare!"
But we will be back next week. Where are we?
On my channel again.
All right. Yes.
Yeah. Back on mine. So I think we're talking about gadgets and tools and things that we use in our gaming and hobbying that aren't necessarily designed for wargaming.
What do you mean? How as gamers we're able to take anything normal and put it to nefarious uses?
I'm expecting quite a lot of talk from you around, particularly around basing materials.
You use couscous.
I didn't. I only ever used it once just to prove to you that it would work. That's what I did.
Oh, I'll tell you what's been nice. As I've been doing these Australians, I've got the old mixed herbs out again. So Herbylicious.
Herbylicious.
Right. Big thanks to everyone for showing up tonight and spending your Monday nights with us. We'll be back next week on Dom's channel talking about gadgets. So we will see you all next week. Enjoy your hobbying throughout the week. Post a Facebook group, and we'll see you all next week. Take care now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.